We're back. This is Renovate and Build with Jim and Sandra, powered by Fair Trade Works.
Let somebody do the dirty work. Buy some noodles, buy some jerk, buy some grease bar. Yeah.
Well, if you weren't awake, you are now. Hi there. I sure hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning. Thanks for listening.
Yes, good morning. We have lots of things ahead of us this hour on Renovate and Build. But Sandra, I want to jump right into our next guest's area of expertise. As you know, plumbing is one of the areas where our clients really get lost. We spend a lot of time helping them find the right people to get the right advice and answer their questions when they're buying fixtures, fittings, you name it. There's so much to choose from.
And joining us here this morning is our resident expert, Mike Heaps from Wolseley, Canada. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Great, thank you.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing? What are you up to this weekend?
Well, I'm fortunate enough that my kids are on a mini vacation elsewhere, so I've got a big plan to be by myself and go down the beach and do whatever I got to do. So
Fantastic.
They're great weekends.
yeah,
Cherish
yes.
those.
Yeah, silent.
Yeah. Mike, so for people that haven't heard about Wolseley, can you tell us a little bit about the company and what separates you from your competition?
Yeah, well, one of the big things, Wolseley's not a name that's known throughout any industry really, but we're the largest national distributor in Canada. That means we go from Victoria to the PEI, where we have branches all across the country. We have a distribution network that runs out of Ontario, so that gives us a lot of product leverage over our competitors. So that differentiates us. We have a lot more product on hand and available than actually the manufacturers do in Canada, because we're supplying all of our network throughout the country. So that's the big thing. And we run under a lot of different brands. So Wolseley Canada is obviously the company, the mother company, and the part of your channel is more of our retail kitchen and bath classics luxury design showroom, which we have 17 in Western Canada, and we have 6 in the province of BC and 3 in the Lower Mainland area as well. So that's really where we get the homeowner and the renovator coming in to touch and feel the products that are going to go in the renovation.
Yeah, because I know you service a large amount of the construction industry, and it's okay going into a store and saying, "Oh, that looks great, I want that." But how fast can you get it when you get it?
Exactly, and that's a big thing about the construction schedule. It's all about, people don't really realize the time lag between I like that and I need to have that installed by this time. So that's really a good education piece for people when we first talk to them when they come in the showroom. It's really like, well, when are you starting your reno? Because that's really going to determine how quickly you're going to be able to get stuff. Right. So it's a big thing that they have to learn, and we have to educate them, and that's good.
Well, and I'm representing the layperson here on Renovate and
Okay.
Build. So the biggest thing I notice going into the showrooms now is the selection. Like now it's almost an artwork when you're picking your fixtures.
Yes,
There's
it
so
is.
many to choose from. And last week we were talking on Product Face-Off just about even the things you have to consider when you're buying a fixture or a faucet. What does your client care cycle look like when I come into the store to help me get through this process and kind of narrow it down and navigate me through?
Well, that's a good question, because we really design our showrooms in a 3-section scenario where we have a transitional look, a contemporary look, and a traditional look. And we try to ask a lot of questions to the customer. First of all, your construction schedule is a big one. And then we start to narrow them down by product. Do you like this look compared to this look? And when you find out what they're geared towards, then you can limit the whole scope of products down right away. Because we deal with probably 500 vendors, but a lot of that product gets narrowed down once you decide on what look really attracts you and what you're going for in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
So it really helps and that's all of the process is all about asking questions, building the rapport, and making sure we're giving them what they really want at the end of the day.
It's interesting because it's no longer go in and pick just the chrome or the stainless.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
it's a vast number, thousands and thousands of different
and
decisions to make.
and then that's the biggest thing we find. People are very overwhelmed when they come in because where do I start? That's the big thing. Where do I start? But that's where we're there to help them, guide them through that process, and that's the important part of it. And that's what separates our wholesale luxury showroom from a big box retailer, somebody that they're just in and out, and the customer knows what they want at that point. They just pick it and leave.
Because anyone who's purchased, for instance, a faucet and just did it on price point, I'm waving my hand for those of you who can't see, and then you realize it's a piece of junk. And really it's not functioning correctly. The little plastic thing when I'm trying to spray is falling off. I mean, it's really important to treat this as an investment.
And that's a big thing, because because I'm in the business, my family and friends, I want to buy a faucet, and I recommend something, and they think, well, that's expensive. I go, well, you got to remember, some of these items you use 5-10 times a day. How many items in your life go through that type of life cycle where you need to have that? working consistently. And when you put it in that perspective, when I buy a pair of shoes for $200, but I wouldn't invest $200 in a good faucet, that doesn't seem to make any sense, right? So once people get that understanding, and most people have had that experience where it breaks down in a couple months, and so they've already been related to that in their life.
Yeah,
so
it's all about, it's all about education, like you said.
Yeah,
it's so funny because we talk about when we're building a new home, how many decisions, and we're just talking about maybe faucets or a tub, and like there's just God knows how many decisions. We should document that. There's probably hundreds of thousands of decisions that it's absolutely overwhelming. So we need experts in every particular field to help our homeowners, guide them through that process, because it's absolutely exhausting trying to navigate all those decisions without good help, you know.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate because I'm been in the business for a long time. My plumbing choices are very simple and fast.
Yeah.
But if I had to try to explain what I know for 25 years in the business to somebody that doesn't, it would be a very long process. So it's
especially with the aging population. Let's get personal for a moment, but things like toilets and retrofits, people need to know what they're going to need as they start to age.
Exactly, yeah.
And they're looking for that, and they need people that have that expertise. It's not a matter of walking into a big box store going, yeah, I think that will make do.
Yeah.
As you said, it's a lifelong investment.
Yeah, I think a lot of there's been a transition. I remember we did a lot of studies 10 years ago where there was a lot of people that wanted to do things on their own because for whatever reason they thought they were handy. Now the population really wants to have somebody take care of them.
Yeah.
They want them to take care of some of their decisions for them. They also wanted them to take care of obviously the construction piece because they want that headache away, because it is a headache.
It is. They're true solutions they're looking for.
Exactly, true solutions.
And like in any other kind of sector, that the amount of choices that are available and the products and ever-changing technology, and it's just how, as a layperson, how could you possibly keep up with those kind of trends and what's going on, right? You need advice.
Yeah, right? You need advice, and even us, it's a constant training cycle for our people, because there's always something new and out there that's exciting and design-oriented and technology. Like you even think, well, plumbing. Technology, really? But as some of the products we have are very integrated into electronics and that type of stuff. So we really have to make sure that people know that that's available. Maybe that's not what they really want, but they need to know it's there.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, choices, absolutely.
Yeah. So now your storefronts feature obviously more than just faucets. You're having, tubs, toilets, mirrors, accessories, list goes on. You even talked about recently before that we were on air, water filtration systems and all these things. So you are way more than what people may think Wosley's all about, and way deeper than your storefront. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about what? Yeah,
we try to integrate. Obviously, our core business was based on the plumbing products, water flow through it. That's part of our game. But now that we're in the business for so long, we've had a lot of vendors approach us because they know we're in that channel and they think that this is a good fit for your channel. So we have like electric tile heaters, that type of product. Obviously, the water treatment, which is really not a huge mover in the Lower Mainland, but when we get up on the island of the Okanagan and especially in Alberta and stuff, it's very big for our business. And there's lots of other items that are not considered plumbing items, but they actually go in the construction of your bathroom or your kitchen that we do. Like a big trend nowadays is furniture. We call it furniture, but it's a nice stoic looking dresser with a basin in the top. Well, that wasn't a business we had 10 years ago, but now people want to make their bathroom look like that. So now that's part of the new trend as well.
Yeah. So it's almost your oasis, your bathroom now, right?
Yeah, it is.
People forget how much money you can spend in a bathroom just because that's your one retreat the children are not going to be joining.
Yeah, we have a unique product where we. I thought, oh, that's weird. I never seen that before, and that's one of the things I get to see. I go in there and say, oh, that's unique for our business. But we have an air jetted bathtub that has an aromatherapy pop up on it. So you put some of your aromatherapy, and you have your aromatherapy and the chrome lighting, LED lighting coming through the water, plus the air jets. It's very relaxing.
I hope you have a sample so we can try it down.
Yeah, we have a working sample in the showroom. So unfortunately, we don't dim the lights. It's all, you got to visualize it the way it is.
I was going to say, look how Sandra's going to come and get in the bath at your
showroom. Exactly. Yeah.
I'll be in my swimsuit next Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, we've been talking a lot about dispelling myths on the show here on Renovate and Build. What do you think is one of the biggest plumbing myths out on the market right now?
Well, I don't want to call this a plumbing myth, but I think it's a myth that we always throw into a lot of categories, is you get what you pay for. So, why is that worth 100 and not worth 300? Well, we just talked about if you use it every day and one breaks down in a week and one lasts for 5 years, that's one of the big myths that people always seem to throw that in the category. Another category that that's an issue, especially in the Lower Mainland, is approval process. There's a lot of people that like things and they go buy things online or wherever they want, only to find out they're not really an approved product in the province of British Columbia. And we've had a lot of instances where people go buy things that are very expensive, only to find out that they are not going to get passed at a plumbing approval process, and they have to rip them out. And that's important for all the products that we promote and sell are approved in the province of British Columbia to sell as a plumbing fixture or whatever they are using it for. So a lot of people think they can just buy it because it's nice looking, and it's pretty sad when you spend a lot of money and have to rip it out because they said that's not approved. So
I was reading that newspaper article, and people had, like you said, bought it on fixtures and faucets online, and no one would install them because they said these aren't approved. They're from China. They've got, they don't have the right code.
The right code for our area, and a lot of that stuff is for our safety and obviously for the quality, and you don't want something that breaks down the next day, and who are you going to go after? So there's a lot of that stuff that goes into it. So those are a couple of things that are always
That's interesting. And last week on Product Face Off, our employees featured 2 products from your store actually, the touch and touchless faucets. What are the give us one latest product that homeowners are really enjoying coming to kind of checking out and be wowed by it?
Well, I used to there's two categories that I always love about the plumbing businesses. One is I've been selling for a while, but I don't think the penetration has hit the marketplace yet. Is that it's in the bidet seat from Toto, where it's got a built-in bidet, an air freshener, a dryer, all built into an electronic seat. It's very attractive, and it's very functional. And I have one in my own house, and I can't believe how much I use it. Yeah. That product is really something that people don't know enough about. Right. And then once they find out about it, they're very interested. So that's what we love to see when people say, "Wow, that can do all of that." And we really like we have toilets that are $6,000 that you'd be wowed at all the things they can do. That fits a certain budget, but there's also some entry-level stuff that can really be surprising.
So wait, you have to have a bidet open house?
Yeah, I've done a lot of shows about just that seat, and it's just surprised me how people are. Once you hear about it, you're into it. And the other big trend that we think that everybody's on board with is, especially in the Vancouver area, is wall mount toilets and wall mount sinks, because the spaces where you're using are very small nowadays. Yeah. You need to maximize your small little 80 square foot bathroom. So how are you going to do that? You're going to take the toilet off the floor, you're going to take the sink off the floor, leave all that space exposed. Looks a lot bigger when it really isn't.
And nice clean lines, and it's easy to clean under as well.
So that's a big trend that we see a lot of people do when they do renos, and they know they have a small spot. So that's really good. Great
ideas. I like them for different decorating ideas too, not just the practicality of space and everything else. Well, Mike, I think that what we really want to do is hold you here for an hour, but we don't have the time. I hope you'll come back and join us again.
I'd love to, yeah.
I know I go down to your store. I was there just a couple weekends ago and looking at faucets, and it's amazing. I could just press buttons all day. So we've been speaking with Mike Heaps, the area manager, BC Lower Mainland for Wolseley, Canada. You can check out and learn more about Wolseley and a store near you by visiting wolseleyinc.ca. That's wolseleyinc.ca, WOLSEL. EYINC.ca. Or, of course, you can just visit our Facebook page where we'll also feature Wolseley store information.
Coming up after the break, the showdown of products between 2 of my staff members. It's called Product Face Off with Meg and Gary, and we'll be featuring the latest in electric outlets. That's next.
There's still lots more ahead. This is Renovate and Build, powered by Fair Trade Works with Jim and Sandra.